Hey, this is John Young. Today we're looking at the Ryobi. This is their 1800 watt inverter that utilizes the 40 volt batteries. And I set it that way. You can see it's using, it's got 6 amp hour. This particular configuration came with 4 6 amp hour batteries. This video is going to be basically the idea of what I like and what I didn't, or was kind of disappointed about. So if you're interested, the quick version of it is, if you own Ryobi batteries, the 40 volt batteries, this is definitely something you want to look at. If you don't own the batteries, you probably could find a better option for a battery powered inverter. Okay, let's dive into some of my likes and dislikes. First off, this particular unit can utilize any number of batteries. You get it turned on here to be able to power it. It can utilize the smaller batteries. These are 6 amp hour. They've got 2.5. There's 4. There's the 6. They go up from there. It will give you the ability to be able to run off a couple of the batteries and hot swap. So basically, if I'm maxing out the load, 1800 watts of capacity with this has, meaning that it could run a 1500 watt electric heater. It could run that. But if I needed to go and swap batteries, it would be best to shut that heater off for a second, swap the batteries and go. If I were running a 500 watt heater, I could literally pop out the 2 batteries, put 2 new batteries in, and leave the heater on without a problem, because it's not super, it's not doing a full draw. Now, we can see a few things on the little indicator here. It's showing us the different 1, 3, 2, 4, and those numbers coincide to somewhere here. We've got the numbers. I don't remember where I saw those, but let's just pop this out. Right there, there it is. So that's where battery 3 is. So you have 1, 3, 2, 4 on the other side. Okay, that tells you how much battery is left on each one of those. When I'm plugging in a source and using it as it is with 6, they will all be evenly drawn from. If I need to hot swap one out, what it does is then it's going to go and draw from the other ones more. So in this particular case, if I were going to run this and I wanted to run it for a long time, I would probably start with the 2 6s and 2 4s. And then after a period of time, the 4s are going to drain. They don't have the capacity, so they're going to drain faster, and they will show on this, they would be draining faster than the 6s, which would be the bottom 2. Then I'd put 2 new 6s in up here, and then these would be starting to deplete faster than the new ones. So then I could be hot swapping and alternating them back and forth with batteries. That's how I do it if I wanted to run it for several hours. I put a 200 watt load on this and let it run. That load would run off this about 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours. Each of these particular batteries, they have 6 amp hours times 40 volts, so they have roughly 240 watts. It's really about 230 something. 230 watts times 4, so we're at roughly just under 900 watts of capacity. So that means that a 200 watt load could run over 900 watts capacity. A 200 watt load could run over the 4 hours, and you'd still have a little bit of battery left. Now you see here we've got a load level. So whenever I plug a 200 watt load in, it's going to show me what load level I have. It's not going to show me how many watts are being drawn out. It's going to give me a report in the percent of what's being utilized. So that way I don't overdraw the unit. I don't pull more than the 1800 watts of power that's there. It's not how much battery is left, it's how much of the capacity of the unit to give you the wattage, how much over what your load is that it still has. So this is something that you really want to be watching if you are using this, because you don't want to be pushing this to the point where it's 100% for very long or getting higher, because that's just going to burn the system out. You really want to be running that load level in the middle or down lower to get that additional run time. You got your power switch to turn your outlets on right here. You've got breaker, and you've got a parallel kit, so you could actually run 2 of them together. And there's just a few little things. Charging port is right there. USB is traditional, USB-C. Now, one of the things I'm not excited about is that you don't have on here the ability to see what your runtime is going to be. You really don't know. You can kind of get a guesstimate if you're looking at the load level of what it is compared to the 800 and some watts of capacity in this case, but you really don't know. Some of that is going to be available with the Bluetooth. More information is, but for most of us, that's, we're not going to utilize the Bluetooth because we're just basically here to do, to utilize the thing. And there's the little light there. I just wanted to show you that. Okay. So again, if you own the batteries, this is definitely something to look at. Many of the battery units out there that are battery inverters like this, they have more information that is available on the unit itself. And I really, really like that. Weight-wise with the batteries, it's got some beef to it. It's a heavy unit, but it's also doing a lot. It's taking that and converting it down and giving you, an 1800 watt output capacity. So it's a beefy unit. This would be able to run most circular saws, smaller table saws, and of course anything beyond anything lower than that. It could run a coffee maker, a small coffee maker for a little while, small hair dryer, the kind of things people ask about. It can also have a solar panel. You can plug it in. There's a solar kit to this to be able to help, say if you're using it dry dock camping, that would help to charge the batteries up. Speaking of charging, we plug in our little charger. Here, I'll show you that. The charger for this is a little wall wart. It's not very, very big. It doesn't have a ton of output. You plug it in. Now, what I do like about it is that it will go and it will charge these in series, or it'll cycle through. So it'll charge this one and then charge this one or whatever. It goes from one battery to the next, and then it charges up all the batteries. It can take a long, long time, like overnight, to charge those batteries with that power supply. Another negative thing is that this, because of the power supply being fairly small and not having a ton of power output, you do not have pass-through power, so you can't be charging it and using it even with a low load. It just does not work. As soon as you plug it in for the power, the outlets were shut off. So it is what it is. It's going to be able to give you that going to a job site or a small spot and to be able to go and cut some boards. It's going to be able to give you some lights for your camping or a little fan and be able to charge it off a solar. But it's not going to be able to do some of the things that some of the more advanced units out there. It just really depends if you own these. And I own a lot of these. I've got different sizes and such. So in my configuration, I could literally, between chargers, say if I had the chargers in the house and I have fast chargers, I could be having this run out in the middle of the backyard, and I could let it run for a day. And I just would be swapping batteries constantly. Obviously, that's not realistic, but I mean, I could if I really, really wanted to, because I've got the batteries. It's just not something for everybody, because there's some folks who just don't have those batteries. So I'll put a link in the description below so you can check this out. But the price on this has really come down a lot. So for folks, again, who own the Ryobi stuff, this is now within range, and it could be a great addition to your workshop. This is John Young. Thanks for watching.